Sofia of Greece and Denmark was born on November 2, 1938, in a world teetering between the old and the new. Her birth marked the beginning of a legacy that would intertwine her life with the fate of two royal families. One, the fragile Greek monarchy, and the other, a powerful European empire. Sofia's lineage was steeped in centuries of royal tradition, but her early years would be shaped by turmoil, exile, and the events that would unfold across Europe in the coming decades. Her father, King Paul of Greece, had ascended to the throne in 1947 following the end of World War II. As the son of King Constantine I, Paul was deeply involved in the restoration of Greece after the devastation of war and civil strife. Her mother, Queen Frederica of Hanover, was born into the German nobility. Her father, the Duke of Cumberland, a man whose political alliances and family ties would shape much of Sofia's early understanding of power, tradition, and diplomacy. Sofia's childhood, however, was far from idyllic. When she was just a year old, the political upheaval in Greece brought significant challenges to the royal family. The monarchy was unpopular with the people, and political tensions escalated in the post-war period. In 1947, King Paul, fearing for the safety of his family, made the decision to send Sofia and her siblings into exile in South Africa. The royal family's exile marked the beginning of a period of displacement that would last several years. During this time, Sofia's upbringing was shaped not by the palatial halls of Greece but by the quiet, often humble surroundings of foreign lands. It was in this environment, away from the opulence of her royal family, that Sofia began to develop the qualities that would later define her as a queen: resilience, diplomacy, and a deep sense of duty. Despite the challenges, Sofia's education was meticulous. Her family placed a great emphasis on learning, and Sofia excelled in her studies. Fluent in multiple languages, she was taught by private tutors and later attended schools in France and Spain. Her education was not just academic. It was the foundation for her understanding of the broader world, especially the delicate balance of European politics. It was in these formative years that Sofia came to grasp the delicate role that royalty played in shaping national identities and political alliances. But even as she matured into a well-educated and poised young woman, the shadow of political instability loomed over her life. Her family's return to Greece in 1962 was marred by the country's ongoing political turmoil. The monarchy, already facing the skepticism of many Greeks, struggled to maintain its position amid a society grappling with its own identity in the modern world. Sofia, now a young woman in her early 20s, was about to enter a new phase of her life, one that would see her take on a role far greater than she had ever imagined. It was during this turbulent period in her life that Sofia would meet Juan Carlos, the young heir to the Spanish throne. Their first meeting was almost by accident, an introduction at a royal gathering in Europe. The chemistry between them was immediate, but it was more than just romantic attraction that brought them together. Both Sofia and Juan Carlos were products of royal families navigating post-war Europe, each trying to figure out how to preserve the old traditions while adapting to a changing world. Juan Carlos was the son of Juan de Bourbon, the heir to the Spanish throne, but Spain under the rule of Franco was a dictatorship. Juan Carlos had been groomed to take on the throne, but the question of how he would handle the delicate politics of Spain, both internally and externally, remained an open one. Sofia, though far removed from the Greek throne in terms of power, understood the challenges of a monarchy in a rapidly changing world. Her family's years in exile had taught her the importance of diplomacy, resilience, and the ability to adapt. Their union, which was announced in 1962, was not just the joining of two individuals, it was a political alliance that tied the Greek and Spanish monarchies together. Yet, despite the political motivations behind their marriage, it quickly became clear that Sofia and Juan Carlos shared more than just a mutual respect for one another's royal duties. There was a deep emotional connection between them, one that would be tested in the years to come. As Sofia prepared to marry Juan Carlos, the eyes of Europe were upon her. Her marriage would not only affect the future of Spain but also the legacy of Greece's royal family. But, as Sofia stood on the precipice of a new life, she could not have known that the years ahead would be filled with moments of uncertainty, danger, and ultimately triumph. In the first chapter of her life, Sofia had learned the importance of standing firm in the face of adversity. She had been exiled, uprooted, and forced to navigate a world that was ever-changing and unpredictable. Yet, in the midst of it all, Sofia had developed a strength that would serve her well in the decades to come. Her marriage to Juan Carlos would be just the beginning of a journey that would change the course of Spanish history and transform Sofia into one of the most influential women in European royalty. As the 1960s unfolded, Europe was experiencing a profound shift. The aftermath of World War II had left a continent reeling, but there were signs of recovery. The political landscape was beginning to change, and among the royal families there was a renewed sense of purpose, particularly in Spain. Under the long rule of Franco, Spain had remained a dictatorship with the monarchy's power relegated to the background. Yet, in 1969, Juan Carlos, the son of Juan de Bourbon, was designated as Franco's successor. His appointment was controversial, a direct attempt by Franco to control the future of Spain, and it set the stage for a union that would ultimately alter the course of Spanish history. Sofia had already lived through her share of turmoil. Though her family had returned to Greece in 1962, the country was still grappling with political unrest. The Greek monarchy, which had been restored, was under pressure from both internal and external forces. As a result, Sofia found herself at the crossroads of two worlds. One that was rooted in the traditions of the past, and another that was struggling to move toward modernization. It was in this environment that she first encountered Juan Carlos. Their meeting was nothing extraordinary on the surface. It occurred at a royal event in Europe in the early 1960s, a gathering of noble families from across the continent. Sofia, the Princess of Greece, was there as a representative of her family. And Juan Carlos, the future King of Spain, was there as a young heir navigating the tricky waters of Franco's Spain. Their eyes met across the crowded room, and there was an immediate spark, though at the time, neither could have known the full significance of their connection. Juan Carlos, though born into the royal family of Spain, had not yet been fully embraced by the Spanish people. His relationship with Franco was strained at best. He was to become the symbol of the monarchy's future, but he was caught in the webs of a political system that valued loyalty over reform. Sofia, on the other hand, was no stranger to political intrigue. Her family had endured exile and had lived through the tumultuous years of Greece's civil war. Despite the public image of royalty, she understood the pressures and responsibilities that came with being a member of a royal family. Their courtship was slow, marked by royal events and state visits. Despite their shared royal status, they had very different upbringings. Sofia had spent much of her childhood away from the pomp and circumstance of her royal duties, living in exile in South Africa and later in Spain and France. In contrast, Juan Carlos had been groomed for leadership under Franco's watchful eye, prepared to take over the Spanish throne as a symbolic figurehead. But it wasn't just their backgrounds that separated them, it was also their personal ambitions. Juan Carlos had been raised with the expectation that he would uphold Franco's regime. Yet he also felt a growing sense of responsibility to lead Spain into a new era. He was keenly aware of the challenges that lay ahead. The aging dictator, the changing political climate, and the need for reform. Sofia, on the other hand, came from a family that had been dethroned, but she had seen the power of diplomacy and the art of negotiation. She had spent her youth traveling across Europe, learning from some of the most powerful monarchies in the world. Despite the confines of royal life, she was no stranger to the subtle power of influence and control. Over the years, their relationship grew and their bond deepened. Sofia's calm demeanor and intelligence intrigued Juan Carlos. He admired her ability to navigate the complexities of royal life with grace and poise. Sofia, in turn, was drawn to Juan Carlos's quiet determination and his willingness to take risks, even if it meant challenging the status quo. She saw in him a man capable of leading Spain into a new era, one that embraced democratic values rather than clinging to the authoritarian principles of the past. Their marriage was announced in 1962, a union that would not only solidify their personal connection but also bring together the royal houses of Greece and Spain. The news was met with excitement, but there were also questions about the political ramifications of the marriage. For Sofia, the marriage represented a personal commitment to Juan Carlos, but it also marked the beginning of a new chapter for both Spain and Greece. Her marriage would not only strengthen the ties between two powerful families but also play a crucial role in shaping the political landscape of Europe in the years to come. The wedding was a grand affair attended by royalty and dignitaries from across Europe. It was held in Athens, and as the couple exchanged vows, the world watched, understanding that this was not just a marriage of two individuals but a union of two royal families with deep historical significance. The union symbolized hope for a more stable and unified future for Europe, one in which the royal families would play a key role in the transition from the old world to the new. In the early years of their marriage, Sofia and Juan Carlos settled into their roles as husband and wife, navigating the challenges that came with their respective duties. They spent time in Spain, where Sofia became more involved in the country's royal affairs, taking on public duties and attending events that would highlight her support for Juan Carlos's future reign. Sofia's role was not just ceremonial, she was deeply involved in Juan Carlos's political strategies, offering her counsel and support as he navigated the tricky waters of Spanish politics under Franco's dictatorship. Though the Spanish monarchy was still under Franco's control, it was clear that Juan Carlos's influence was growing. Sofia, with her diplomatic background and strong sense of duty, played a key role in helping him shape the future of Spain. She was by his side as he began to quietly position himself as a reformist figure, someone who could bridge the gap between Franco's regime and a more democratic future. Their shared vision for Spain's future was not without its challenges. Sofia's position as the wife of the future king meant that she had to balance the demands of her royal duties with her support for her husband's political aspirations. Their relationship would be tested in the years to come as they faced challenges both from within the monarchy and from the larger political forces shaping Spain's future. As the 1960s turned into the 1970s, Spain's political climate grew increasingly unstable. Franco's health began to decline, and the question of who would lead the country after his death became more pressing. For Sofia and Juan Carlos, the stakes were higher than ever. Their marriage, their roles as monarchs in waiting, and their vision for Spain's future would be put to the ultimate test in the years to come. But for now, in the early days of their marriage, they stood together, united not just by love but by a shared vision for the future, a future that would soon unfold in ways that neither could have predicted. The early years of Sofia's marriage to Juan Carlos were not only marked by personal adjustments but also by a growing awareness of the responsibilities they both had as future monarchs of Spain. While Sofia had been raised in royal circles, her life in exile had taught her the realities of royal duty, how the weight of the crown was not simply a matter of luxury but of immense responsibility, sacrifice, and the constant balancing act of personal desires versus national needs. Spain, under the rule of Franco, was a dictatorship that had been firmly entrenched in power for nearly 4 decades. The Spanish monarchy, with its deep historical roots, was subordinated to the will of the dictator. Juan Carlos, as Franco's designated heir, had been groomed to succeed him, but he knew that his path would not be straightforward. Sofia, despite her Greek royal roots, understood that this was not just a marriage to a future king, it was a partnership that required navigating one of Europe's most contentious political landscapes. In the early years of their marriage, Sofia took on a role that was, for many, largely symbolic. As the wife of the heir to the Spanish throne, she was expected to represent the monarchy in various public and ceremonial roles. But to see Sofia as merely a figurehead would be a misjudgment. Beneath her calm and composed exterior was a keen political mind, one that understood the delicate balance between maintaining the status quo and pushing for progress. Juan Carlos, who had been carefully maneuvering in the shadows of Franco's regime, found in Sofia a partner who shared his vision for a more democratic Spain, one that could reconcile its past with a promising future. Although the public may have seen Sofia as a silent consort, she was anything but passive behind the scenes. Her royal upbringing and political savvy allowed her to advise Juan Carlos on crucial decisions. As a consort, she was not only the face of Spain's monarchy but also a crucial advisor to her husband, particularly in the wake of the political tension in Spain that simmered beneath the surface. While Juan Carlos navigated his duties with Franco, Sofia used her charm and diplomatic finesse to build relationships with key figures in the Spanish government and the international community. Knowing that these alliances would be essential once the dictatorship finally ended, Sofia's role became particularly important as tensions began to rise in the 1970s. Franco's health began to fail, and the question of succession loomed large. Juan Carlos, who had been carefully cultivated as the heir, was faced with a complex dilemma. On one hand, he had to continue fulfilling his duties under Franco's watchful eye, but on the other, he understood that Spain could not continue under the authoritarian regime forever. He had to position himself as a modernizing force in Spanish politics, someone who could inherit the throne and peacefully transition the country to democracy. Sofia supported Juan Carlos through this period of internal struggle. It was during these years that their relationship truly blossomed into a political partnership. While Juan Carlos sought to maintain Franco's favor, Sofia took the reins in strengthening the royal family's image abroad. Her ability to forge alliances with other European royal families, and even the media, gave the Spanish monarchy a more international presence. She traveled extensively, speaking at events, representing Spain at official functions, and subtly influencing the public opinion of the monarchy. Sofia's charm and grace made her a beloved figure, not just within Spain, but across Europe. But it wasn't just public appearances and diplomacy that defined Sofia's influence. She was instrumental in ensuring that Juan Carlos was ready to assume power, should the moment come. She was a steady presence in his life, helping him navigate the emotional and psychological burden of being a king-in-waiting under such an oppressive regime. Sofia provided the quiet strength Juan Carlos needed as he weighed the difficult decisions that lay ahead. Their marriage, though founded on a political alliance, had deepened into a partnership of trust and mutual respect. While Sofia was not directly involved in the political machinations of Juan Carlos's dealings with Franco, her support and influence were undeniable. She encouraged him to stay true to his own beliefs, urging him to be bold and assertive when the time came to assume the throne. In the late 1970s, as Franco's health continued to decline, Spain was on the brink of monumental change. The question of how Juan Carlos would handle the inevitable transition of power was a matter of national concern. Sofia, understanding the gravity of the situation, continued to be a steadying influence on him, helping him remain composed during the most volatile period of their royal careers. Yet, as much as Sofia was a public figure representing Spain, she was also a private figure at the heart of the royal family. Her relationship with Juan Carlos remained one of mutual support, even as the political pressures mounted. She was a mother to their children, Infanta Elena, Infanta Cristina, and Prince Felipe, and a caring matriarch who instilled in her children the same sense of duty and responsibility that had been passed down to her from her own family. In this sense, Sofia was not only shaping the future of Spain through her support of Juan Carlos, but also molding the next generation of the Spanish monarchy. Throughout this period, Sofia proved that her strength was not just in her public persona but in the quiet, steady support she provided behind the scenes. She had taken on the role of queen-in-waiting with grace, knowing that her ultimate task was not just to fulfill the ceremonial duties of a monarch's wife, but to play an integral role in the survival and transformation of the Spanish monarchy. As the 1970s unfolded, Spain found itself at a crossroads. Franco's death was imminent, and the future of the country hung in the balance. For Sofia and Juan Carlos, their shared vision for a democratic Spain was about to face its greatest test. The world watched, wondering if the young king would rise to the occasion and carry the country forward, or whether the legacy of Franco's regime would prove too powerful to overcome. But no matter what lay ahead, Sofia had already played an irreplaceable role in the transition. As Juan Carlos's wife and trusted advisor, she had not only helped him navigate the challenges of their time but had also solidified her own place in Spanish history as one of the most influential consorts in Europe. Her strength, wisdom, and diplomacy would be crucial in the coming years, as Spain embarked on the difficult journey from dictatorship to democracy. The summer of 1975 marked a turning point in Spanish history. The country, under the iron grip of Francisco Franco for nearly 4 decades, was about to face a dramatic shift in its political and social landscape. Franco, the dictator who had ruled Spain since the end of the Spanish Civil War, died on November 20, 1975, leaving behind a nation on the brink of change. For Juan Carlos I, this moment represented both the fulfillment of his destiny and the beginning of an enormous challenge. Juan Carlos had been appointed by Franco as the heir to the Spanish throne, a decision made by the dictator in an effort to ensure that his regime would continue long after his death. However, this designation did not mean that Juan Carlos was a mere puppet to Franco's legacy. As the heir, he had been trained by Franco's regime to assume the monarchy. But he was also deeply aware of the limitations that came with such an appointment. Juan Carlos knew that Spain could not continue under the dictatorship forever. And he understood the weight of the decision that lay ahead, how to navigate the transition from dictatorship to democracy. For Sofia, the death of Franco brought with it both hope and trepidation. She had stood by Juan Carlos for years, providing him with quiet counsel and unwavering support. Their marriage, once a political alliance, had evolved into a partnership built on mutual respect and trust. Sofia knew that this was the moment they had been preparing for, the moment when Juan Carlos would have to step up and take the reins of power. The Spanish monarchy was about to be tested, and the path forward was uncertain. In the weeks following Franco's death, Juan Carlos ascended to the throne as Juan Carlos I of Spain. The transition was not without its challenges. Franco's legacy was deeply embedded in the country's institutions, and the forces of the dictatorship were still strong within the Spanish military and government. There was a real fear that the country could descend into chaos or civil war, as different factions vied for power. Sofia's role during this time was one of quiet strength. While the world watched as Juan Carlos assumed the throne, Sofia worked behind the scenes, helping to guide him through the complexities of Spanish politics. She had long been aware of the delicate political landscape in Spain and the need for careful maneuvering. As the wife of the newly crowned king, Sofia was more than just a figurehead. She became a trusted confidant and advisor to her husband, providing a steady hand as he navigated the turbulent waters of his new reign. One of the first challenges Juan Carlos faced was the delicate task of navigating Spain's political factions. He had to maintain the loyalty of the military and the political elites who had supported Franco while also making moves toward democratization. The political climate in Spain was tense, and many wondered if Juan Carlos could truly break free from the shadow of Franco's regime. Sofia's diplomatic skills were invaluable during this time. She was deeply involved in the political discussions that took place behind closed doors, offering counsel to her husband on how best to approach the country's transition. Her natural grace and understanding of European diplomacy helped Juan Carlos build important international relationships, including with other European monarchies that were eager to see Spain evolve into a modern democracy. Through Sofia's support, Juan Carlos was able to maintain his position of power while also reassuring the Spanish public that change was not only necessary but possible. But the transition to democracy was not easy. In 1976, just months after Franco's death, Spain faced a crisis that could have derailed the entire process. The Spanish military, still loyal to Franco's legacy, staged a coup attempt on February 23, 1981. Known as 23F, the coup involved a group of military officers who sought to restore a more authoritarian regime. Tanks rolled through the streets of Madrid, and armed soldiers stormed the Spanish parliament. It was a tense and frightening moment in Spanish history. As the coup unfolded, it was Sofia's steady influence and unwavering support that helped guide Juan Carlos through the crisis. The king's response to the coup was swift and decisive. In a dramatic televised address, Juan Carlos firmly rejected the coup, publicly defending the democratic institutions of Spain. His actions that day solidified his reputation as a defender of democracy and earned him the respect of both the Spanish people and the international community. Sofia stood by his side throughout this crisis, offering both emotional and strategic support. While Juan Carlos faced down the military threat, Sofia helped to calm the nerves of the Spanish public, reassuring them that the monarchy was committed to the preservation of democracy. Her role was crucial in maintaining the stability of the royal family during such a critical time. The success of the 23F coup attempt had far-reaching implications. While it had failed to overthrow the democratic government, it demonstrated just how fragile Spain's democracy still was. It also highlighted the crucial role that the monarchy would play in guiding Spain through its transition. The Spanish people had placed their trust in Juan Carlos and Sofia, and they had proven that they were capable of leading the country into a new era. As the 1980s progressed, Spain began to experience the fruits of its democratic transition. The new Spanish Constitution, passed in 1978, was a landmark achievement that enshrined Spain's commitment to democracy and the rule of law. Juan Carlos, with Sofia by his side, continued to play a key role in supporting the country's transition. They traveled together to promote Spain's image abroad, working to strengthen Spain's ties with the European Union and the rest of the world. Sofia's personal sacrifices during this period were not insignificant. As queen consort, she had to navigate the challenges of raising a family while also fulfilling her royal duties. She worked tirelessly to support Juan Carlos, all while maintaining a strong public image as the queen who stood beside her husband during Spain's most turbulent years. In the end, the legacy of Juan Carlos and Sofia was not just in their ability to navigate Spain's transition to democracy, but in their commitment to modernizing the monarchy. Their union, once political, had evolved into a partnership that played a vital role in shaping Spain's future. Sofia, with her wisdom and diplomatic skills, had proven herself to be a true partner to Juan Carlos I in every sense of the word. Their journey, fraught with political challenges and personal sacrifices, had made them symbols of hope and stability in a country that had once been ruled by dictatorship. By the time Spain had successfully navigated through the coup attempt of 1981, the country had entered a new phase of its political development, characterized by hope and uncertainty in equal measure. The transition from Franco's authoritarian regime to a democratic monarchy was no easy feat, yet in the face of adversity, Juan Carlos and Sofia stood as symbols of stability and modernity. As the queen consort of Spain, Sofia was not only tasked with supporting her husband in his duties as king, but also with modernizing the image of the Spanish monarchy itself. The 1980s were a period of rapid transformation for Spain. The country was emerging from the shadows of its past, and the monarchy had to evolve in order to stay relevant in a rapidly changing political and cultural environment. This was where Sofia's influence came to the forefront. Although her husband held the ultimate political power, Sofia played a crucial role in ensuring that the royal family maintained its place as a respected and unifying institution within Spanish society. One of Sofia's most significant contributions was her role in engaging with the Spanish people. As the consort of King Juan Carlos I, she was a beloved figure, known for her warmth, grace, and intelligence. Sofia was not only a public representative of the monarchy, but also someone who bridged the gap between the royal family and the common people. She made numerous public appearances, attending charity events, supporting cultural initiatives, and becoming an advocate for social causes. Her humanitarian efforts were particularly significant. Sofia took an active role in promoting causes that affected women, children, and the less fortunate. She worked with organizations that helped provide educational and healthcare support for those in need. Through her work, Sofia helped to shift the public perception of the monarchy. Rather than being seen as an outdated institution, the Spanish royal family began to be viewed as more connected to the people and responsive to the challenges facing the nation. Sofia's commitment to public welfare was not limited to her charitable work. She also helped modernize the way the royal family interacted with the media. In the 1980s, the monarchy's relationship with the press became increasingly important. The media was no longer just a mouthpiece for the monarchy, it was a powerful tool for shaping public opinion. Sofia, with her natural diplomacy and poise, helped the royal family navigate this new era of media scrutiny. She was a frequent subject of media attention, but unlike many other royals, Sofia managed to strike a balance between public visibility and private dignity. Her ability to maintain a low profile while still carrying out her royal duties with dedication was something that set her apart from other consorts. She was careful not to overshadow her husband, but was still able to exert her influence in a quiet and powerful way. During these years, Sofia also played a key role in establishing Spain's international presence. As the queen consort, she represented Spain on state visits and played an instrumental role in strengthening Spain's relationships with other European nations. She was a key figure in Spain's integration into the European Union, and her diplomatic efforts were crucial in helping the country secure a position within the European community. Through her travels, Sofia helped to promote Spain as a modern, democratic country and a key player on the international stage. While Sofia was focused on modernizing the image of the monarchy and advocating for social causes, her role in the family was equally important. She raised their three children, Infanta Elena, Infanta Cristina, and Prince Felipe, with a sense of duty that reflected the values of the Spanish monarchy. Her relationship with Juan Carlos, though often tested by the pressures of public life, remained a cornerstone of the royal family's stability. Together, they navigated the challenges of being a royal couple in the 21st century, and their partnership was central to the monarchy's survival. Sofia's relationship with her children was one of love, discipline, and responsibility. She was particularly close to her son, Felipe, the heir to the throne. From a young age, she instilled in him the sense of duty that came with being a member of the Spanish royal family. As the future king, Felipe was expected to carry the weight of the monarchy on his shoulders, and Sofia worked hard to ensure that he was prepared for the challenges ahead. She guided him through his education, imparting to him the values of responsibility, humility, and dedication to service. These lessons would serve him well when he eventually ascended to the throne as King Felipe VI in 2014. But as much as Sofia's influence was felt within her family, her role as queen consort extended far beyond the walls of the royal palace. She was a symbol of the changing face of the Spanish monarchy. In the 1980s, Spain was no longer a country struggling under the weight of dictatorship. It was a young democracy with a rich cultural heritage and a promising future. Sofia's presence as queen was a testament to the monarchy's ability to adapt and evolve with the times. In addition to her work in Spain, Sofia also worked to preserve Spain's ties to the wider European royal community. She maintained close relationships with other European royals, including Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom and King Carl XVI Gustav of Sweden. These relationships were not just ceremonial. They were part of a broader strategy to position Spain as an important player in European affairs. Her ability to navigate the delicate relationships between monarchies was a testament to her diplomatic skills. Sofia was able to balance her responsibilities as queen consort with the demands of international diplomacy, helping to ensure that Spain remained a respected member of the European community. Her travels across Europe and beyond further solidified her reputation as a queen who was not just a symbol of Spain's past but also a leader for its future. Throughout the 1980s, Sofia's influence on the monarchy and on Spain itself continued to grow. She was a queen who embodied the ideals of service, duty, and compassion. While Juan Carlos worked tirelessly to maintain Spain's democratic institutions and lead the country into a new era, Sofia was by his side, guiding him through the complexities of royal life and offering her unwavering support. Together, they were a powerful force for modernization, and their shared vision for Spain's future was beginning to take shape. As the Spanish monarchy adapted to the changing political landscape, Sofia's role as queen consort became more and more central. She was not just the wife of the king, she was an integral part of the royal family's mission to modernize Spain and position the country as a respected member of the European Union. Her legacy as a queen who brought the Spanish monarchy into the 21st century would be felt for generations to come. As the decades passed and Spain moved further into the 21st century, the Spanish monarchy found itself at a crossroads. The transition from the old, authoritarian regime to a modern democratic monarchy had been challenging, and the monarchy's future was shaped by the actions and decisions of the royal family. At the heart of this transformation was Queen Sofia, whose influence continued to guide both her husband and their children as they navigated the complexities of modern royal life. One of Sofia's most important roles in the royal family was that of a mother. As a queen consort, Sofia's responsibilities were immense, but she never allowed her role as a mother to be overshadowed by her public duties. She was deeply involved in the lives of her three children, Infanta Elena, Infanta Cristina, and Prince Felipe. While each child had their own path to follow, it was Prince Felipe, the heir to the throne, who would be most directly influenced by Sofia's guidance. From an early age, Felipe was exposed to the intricacies of royal life. As the future king of Spain, he was groomed to take on the weight of the monarchy and its responsibilities. However, unlike many other royal children who were shielded from the realities of their future roles, Sofia made sure that Felipe understood the demands and challenges of being a monarch. She instilled in him a sense of duty, responsibility, and humility, values that would become central to his reign when he eventually ascended to the throne in 2014. Sofia's relationship with Felipe was characterized by a deep bond of mutual respect and trust. She was not just his mother but also his mentor and advisor. As a young man, Felipe faced the challenges of being the heir to the throne during a time when the monarchy's relevance was being questioned. Spain was a modern, democratic country, and the traditional role of the monarchy was being reevaluated. Sofia was there to guide him through these challenges, teaching him how to navigate the complexities of royal life while also understanding the importance of remaining connected to the people of Spain. The lessons that Sofia imparted to Felipe were not just about protocol or royal duties. She taught him about the importance of service to the nation and the need to maintain the respect and trust of the Spanish people. Sofia emphasized that the monarchy was not about privilege or personal gain, but about service to the people and the nation. These lessons shaped Felipe's view of the monarchy and would become the cornerstone of his reign when he became King Felipe VI. But Sofia's influence was not limited to her son. She also played a vital role in the lives of her two daughters, Infanta Elena and Infanta Cristina. While they would not ascend to the throne, Sofia made sure that both of her daughters understood their roles within the royal family and the responsibilities that came with being part of Spain's monarchy. Sofia ensured that her daughters received a comprehensive education, with a focus on both traditional royal duties and modern political realities. Infanta Elena, the eldest daughter, was particularly influenced by Sofia's commitment to public service. She became involved in various charitable and cultural organizations, following in her mother's footsteps as a strong advocate for social causes. Infanta Cristina, the younger daughter, was more private in her approach to royal duties, but she, too, was shaped by Sofia's example of dedication and service to the people. Sofia's influence extended beyond her immediate family. Her role as a stabilizing force in the Spanish royal family allowed her to play an active part in shaping the monarchy's future. While Juan Carlos was the king, Sofia was the queen consort who provided the royal family with the steady leadership it needed. She helped ensure that the monarchy remained relevant in a changing Spain, serving as a bridge between the past and the future. One of the key moments in Sofia's life came in the early 2010s, when the monarchy faced its greatest crisis since Spain's transition to democracy. The public's perception of the monarchy had begun to shift due to a series of scandals surrounding Juan Carlos. In particular, his infamous hunting trip to Botswana in 2012, which took place during a time of economic hardship in Spain, drew widespread criticism. The scandal cast a shadow over the monarchy, and many questioned Juan Carlos's ability to continue his reign. In the wake of the scandal, Sofia's role became more crucial than ever. She was there for Juan Carlos, supporting him during a time when his reputation was tarnished, and she played a pivotal role in guiding the royal family through this challenging period. While Juan Carlos faced growing criticism, Sofia's calm and dignified presence helped the royal family weather the storm. She worked behind the scenes to maintain the family's reputation, ensuring that the monarchy's image remained intact. During this period, Sofia's influence on Felipe became even more apparent. As the heir to the throne, Felipe was thrust into the spotlight as the future of the monarchy. Sofia helped him navigate the difficult political and public relations challenges that arose in the wake of the scandal. She encouraged him to maintain a sense of duty and humility, emphasizing the importance of the monarchy's role in Spanish society. In 2014, after months of mounting pressure, Juan Carlos announced his decision to abdicate the throne in favor of his son, Felipe. The decision was seen as a necessary step in the evolution of the Spanish monarchy. Juan Carlos's abdication marked the end of an era and Felipe became King Felipe VI. Sofia, who had supported her husband through his reign, was now entrusted with supporting her son as he embarked on his own journey as king. As Queen Emeritus, Sofia's role in the royal family shifted, but her influence remained strong. She continued to play an important part in supporting Felipe as he navigated the challenges of his new reign. Although she was no longer the active queen consort, Sofia remained a beloved figure in Spain, and her legacy continued to shape the monarchy. Her legacy as a mother, a queen consort, and a stabilizing force in the royal family was undeniable. Sofia's guidance and influence had been instrumental in shaping Felipe's reign, and her commitment to public service and social causes had set an example for future generations. Even as she stepped back from her official duties, Sofia remained an important figure in the Spanish monarchy, revered for her strength, grace, and unwavering dedication to her family and country. The monarchy, under King Felipe VI, would face new challenges in the 21st century. But Sofia's role in modernizing the Spanish royal family, nurturing the next generation of royals, and guiding Spain through one of its most difficult periods ensured that the monarchy would continue to evolve and adapt to the changing times. Her legacy, built on duty, service, and compassion, would remain a touchstone for the Spanish monarchy for years to come. The year 2014 marked the end of an era for Spain's royal family. King Juan Carlos I, after decades of reign and political upheaval, announced his abdication in favor of his son, Felipe VI. The decision was a monumental one, signaling the conclusion of Juan Carlos's reign, which had guided Spain through the end of its dictatorship and the transition to democracy. However, the abdication also ushered in a new chapter for Sofia, the Queen Emeritus. Though her title had officially changed, Sofia's importance in the Spanish monarchy remained as strong as ever. Having dedicated over half a century to her country, first as the princess consort and then as queen consort, Sofia's role shifted but did not disappear. The monarchy's future was now firmly in the hands of King Felipe VI, but Sofia's presence continued to offer guidance, wisdom, and strength, qualities that had defined her throughout her life. In the years following the abdication, Sofia's influence remained integral to the Spanish royal family's image. While Juan Carlos faced public scrutiny due to the scandals that marred his final years on the throne, Sofia's dignified and graceful demeanor allowed her to maintain the public's respect. Even as the royal family moved into a new era under Felipe VI, Sofia's actions and presence helped maintain continuity and stability within the monarchy. She had long been regarded as the foundation upon which the royal family had built its credibility, and she continued to be a symbol of dignity and service. Her post-abdication life was far from one of seclusion. Sofia still attended royal events and public engagements, often alongside her son, King Felipe VI, and his wife, Queen Letizia. Sofia had always been deeply involved in public welfare and charity, and this did not change after her abdication. Her work with various philanthropic organizations continued, focusing on education, children's welfare, and social justice. She remained an active figure in many cultural and social causes that were close to her heart, and her dedication to these causes remained steadfast even as her official duties diminished. Despite her continued involvement in public life, Sofia's relationship with her family became even more central in these years. With Felipe now king, Sofia took on the role of an elder stateswoman, offering him counsel when needed but allowing him to forge his own path as monarch. Sofia's presence in the royal family remained a constant reminder of the long history and tradition that had shaped the monarchy. She was there to support Felipe in navigating the challenges of modernizing the monarchy, ensuring that it remained relevant in the eyes of the Spanish people while respecting its rich heritage. Sofia's relationship with King Felipe VI grew even closer after the abdication. As a mother, she had already shaped him into the thoughtful and diplomatic leader he would become. But now as king, Felipe faced new responsibilities that required Sofia's wisdom and guidance. Though she had stepped back from official royal duties, Sofia was often by his side, offering quiet support as he made important decisions for the country. In addition to her role within the family, Sofia remained a respected figure in Spain's broader society. She had long been a symbol of the royal family's modernization, particularly with her charitable work and advocacy for social change. As Queen Emeritus, she continued to be seen as a source of inspiration for many, particularly for women in Spain. Sofia's role as a mother, consort, and philanthropist had shaped her into one of Spain's most admired public figures. Her life had been one of service, and her legacy was one of compassion, dedication, and unwavering support for her family and her country. While Sofia's life after the abdication was focused on her family and her charitable work, the Spanish monarchy itself was undergoing its own evolution under Felipe VI. King Felipe VI faced the difficult task of restoring public trust in the monarchy, which had been shaken by scandals involving his father, Juan Carlos. The monarchy, once seen as a symbol of stability and continuity, was now under scrutiny, and Felipe VI had to find a way to adapt it to the demands of a modern democratic society. Sofia's role in this transition was subtle but significant. As Felipe VI navigated the challenges of his reign, Sofia remained a steady presence in his life. She was there to offer advice when necessary, but she also knew that her son needed to carve his own path as king. She trusted him to make the right decisions, and she supported him with the same quiet strength that had characterized her role as consort. Sofia's legacy, however, was not just one of political influence. She had always been a strong advocate for the values of family, duty, and responsibility, and her legacy in these areas was particularly evident in the way she raised her children. Sofia had instilled in Felipe a deep sense of duty to his country and to the monarchy, and he carried this forward into his reign. Her influence was also evident in her daughters, Infanta Elena and Infanta Cristina, who had both followed their mother's example by working with charitable organizations and maintaining a public presence that reflected the monarchy's role as a force for good in Spanish society. As the years went on, Sofia became a beloved figure not only in Spain but also abroad. She remained a respected and admired Queen Emeritus, known for her grace, dignity, and unwavering dedication to her family and country. Sofia's legacy as a queen consort, mother, and elder stateswoman was solidified, and she became a model for future generations of royals. Even after stepping back from her official role as queen consort, Sofia's impact on the Spanish monarchy remained profound. She had helped guide Spain through one of its most challenging transitions, moving from dictatorship to democracy, and her influence continued to be felt as Felipe VI took the reins of the monarchy. The legacy of Sofia's reign was one of modernization, compassion, and public service, and it was a legacy that would endure for years to come. In the end, Sofia's greatest achievement was not just in the roles she played within the royal family but in the way she shaped the future of the Spanish monarchy. She had helped her husband, Juan Carlos, navigate the challenges of transitioning Spain to democracy, and she had provided the stability and support needed to ensure that the monarchy remained a respected institution in Spain. Her legacy would continue to influence the monarchy for generations, and she would be remembered as one of the most beloved and influential consorts in modern European history. As the years passed and Sofia's role in the Spanish royal family evolved, she began to reflect more deeply on her legacy. No longer the queen consort, she now found herself in the quieter role of Queen Emeritus, no longer bound by the formal responsibilities of the throne. Yet, despite stepping back from official duties, Sofia remained deeply connected to the royal family, especially to her children, particularly her son, King Felipe VI. Now in her 70s, Sofia took time to look back at the trajectory of her life, considering not just the public events but also the personal moments that had shaped her. Raised in a tumultuous period of European history, Sofia had experienced both the privileges and burdens of being born into royalty. Her early years, marked by exile and the challenges of growing up outside of Greece, had taught her the value of resilience, adaptability, and the importance of diplomacy. These lessons had not only shaped her character but had also prepared her for the unique role she would play in the Spanish monarchy. Sofia often reflected on her early life in exile, a period of hardship and displacement that she had endured alongside her family. At a young age, she had witnessed the complexities of politics, revolution, and the delicate balance between preserving tradition and adapting to new realities. Her education, far from the courts and palaces of Greece, had exposed her to different cultures and ideas, and she had learned early on how to navigate the world of diplomacy and power. These formative experiences, she realized, had given her the strength and wisdom that she would later need in her role as queen consort. Her thoughts often turned to the early days of her marriage to Juan Carlos, when the political climate in Spain was deeply unstable. They had entered the marriage as a political necessity, but it had quickly become much more than that. Their partnership had evolved over time, and as they faced political crises together, Sofia had always been a steadfast source of support for her husband. Through every challenge, from Franco's authoritarian rule to the struggles in the wake of his death, Sofia had remained by Juan Carlos's side, offering him counsel and strength. It was a partnership built not just on duty but on mutual respect, shared vision, and love. When Juan Carlos decided to abdicate in 2014, Sofia had known that it was time for the monarchy to transition into a new era. Her role as queen consort was ending, but her support for Felipe VI, her son, was just beginning a new chapter. She had been an integral part of Juan Carlos's reign, but she also recognized that Spain needed a new face, a new generation, to lead it into the 21st century. Felipe, having been raised with the values of service and duty, was ready to take on the responsibilities of the throne. Sofia's confidence in him was unwavering, and as the years passed, she saw in her son not just the future king but a man who had the potential to modernize the monarchy and bring it closer to the people of Spain. As she observed Felipe's reign, Sofia felt a profound sense of pride. She had instilled in him the importance of responsibility and humility, values that would serve him well as he navigated the complexities of being a modern monarch. She watched as Felipe worked to rebuild the monarchy's image, to restore public trust, and to make the monarchy a symbol of unity and progress. Although Sofia was no longer at the forefront of public life, she knew that her contributions to the monarchy, particularly in shaping Felipe's character, had left an indelible mark. But Sofia's reflections were not limited to her role as a mother and advisor. As she looked at the broader picture of Spain's future, she thought about the monarchy's place in the modern world. The monarchy, once a symbol of absolute power, had been transformed into a constitutional monarchy, a beacon of democratic values. Sofia had always believed that the monarchy's power lay not in political dominance, but in its ability to unite and serve the people of Spain. She hoped that Felipe VI would continue to uphold these values, ensuring that the monarchy remained a force for good in Spanish society. Sofia also thought about the changing role of European monarchies as a whole. As the 21st century unfolded, monarchies across Europe faced new challenges, some of them political, others cultural. The days of absolute monarchs were long gone, and the role of royalty in democratic societies was being redefined. Spain, too, had changed since the days of Franco's dictatorship. The country was now a thriving democracy, a member of the European Union, and a modern nation with a growing international presence. But Sofia knew that the monarchy could never take its place in society for granted. It had to evolve, adapt, and remain relevant to the people it served. As she looked at her children and grandchildren, Sofia felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had helped raise a family that understood the importance of service, duty, and responsibility. Her children had embraced these values, and her legacy would continue through them. Felipe VI had already begun to shape his reign. But Sofia knew that the monarchy's future was not only in his hands but also in the hands of the next generation, her grandchildren. She hoped that they would carry forward the values she had instilled in them, just as Felipe had done. Despite stepping back from her official role as queen consort, Sofia remained a vital presence in the royal family. Her advice was still sought after by Felipe, and she continued to attend key events alongside him and Queen Letizia. Though her role had changed, she knew that her legacy was not defined by titles or public appearances. It was defined by the love and service she had shown to her family and to Spain throughout her life. As she grew older, Sofia knew that her time in the public eye was gradually coming to an end. Yet, she felt a deep sense of peace. She had fulfilled her duties, guided her family through turbulent times, and helped modernize Spain's monarchy for the challenges of the 21st century. The monarchy, once fragile, was now a respected institution that had withstood the test of time. And Sofia's role in that transformation would never be forgotten. Her personal reflections, however, were not just about the past, they were about the future. As Sofia looked to the next generation, she hoped that they would continue to build on the foundations she and Juan Carlos had laid. The future of the monarchy was secure in the hands of her son, Felipe VI, and his children. Spain had weathered many storms, but Sofia believed that the monarchy, with its ability to evolve, would continue to serve the Spanish people for generations to come. In her final years, Sofia found peace in knowing that her legacy would live on. She had not only helped bring Spain into a new era of democracy but had also built a family legacy that would continue to guide the Spanish monarchy long after she was gone. As the years passed, Sofia's position within the Spanish royal family continued to evolve, but her presence and influence remained a vital force within the monarchy. Even though she had stepped away from the formal duties of queen consort following the abdication of Juan Carlos, her legacy was far from being relegated to history. Instead, it had become an integral part of the royal family's ongoing narrative, shaping its role and positioning it for the challenges of the future. In the years following Juan Carlos's abdication, Sofia's role as a mother and confidant to King Felipe VI became even more pronounced. While Felipe was now at the helm of Spain's monarchy, Sofia's wisdom, experience, and long-standing commitment to the institution of the monarchy continued to guide him through turbulent times. Though Felipe had inherited the crown, he was still very much the son of a mother who had nurtured him with the values of responsibility, service, and duty. As King Felipe VI steered the monarchy into a new era, Sofia's counsel remained invaluable. Despite being no longer at the forefront of public life, Sofia was far from being removed from royal duties. Her appearances at official events, whether domestic or international, were always a symbol of continuity. She attended national celebrations, commemorative events, and private family gatherings, remaining a steadying influence within the royal family. The Spanish people had long associated her with grace, dignity, and unwavering dedication to her country. Even in the quieter moments of her post-abdication life, Sofia maintained a connection with the people, often seen at social events or supporting her favorite charitable causes. Her continued work with philanthropic organizations became one of the cornerstones of her legacy. Throughout her reign as queen consort, Sofia had been known for her deep commitment to causes such as children's rights, women's issues, and education. As Queen Emeritus, Sofia never lost sight of these values. Her patronage of various organizations continued to make a meaningful impact in Spain and abroad, allowing her to contribute to society in a way that was meaningful and aligned with the principles of service that had always defined her. Despite the growing prominence of King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, Sofia's role in the royal family was never diminished. She was often seen alongside her son and daughter-in-law, quietly supporting their initiatives, attending family events, and being a guiding presence within the royal household. Felipe and Letizia's marriage and their efforts to redefine the monarchy's role in Spain would not have been as successful without the quiet but powerful influence of Sofia. She served as a mentor to Letizia, teaching her not just the ceremonial aspects of being a queen consort, but also how to handle the complexities and responsibilities that come with the role. The challenges faced by the Spanish monarchy in the 21st century were far from trivial. Spain, like many nations, was grappling with shifting political realities, an evolving media landscape, and an increasing push for transparency and accountability. The monarchy, which had long been a symbol of stability and unity, now found itself facing questions about its relevance in a modern democratic society. Scandals involving Juan Carlos I and the later years of his reign had also brought the monarchy under intense scrutiny. But through it all, Sofia remained a beloved figure, serving as a symbol of continuity and resilience. Her public appearances, though fewer than before, were still met with enthusiasm and respect. Sofia's quiet elegance and her refusal to engage in the controversy surrounding her husband's scandals allowed her to maintain a dignified image, one that served as a stark contrast to the tumultuous events surrounding the royal family. As public interest in the Spanish monarchy waned due to the scandals, Sofia's presence was a reminder of the family's long-standing commitment to Spain's democratic transition. Yet Sofia's enduring influence wasn't only within the royal family or the Spanish public. Her legacy reached beyond Spain's borders, where she continued to be regarded as a key figure within European royalty. Her relationships with other European royal families, many of whom had become close allies over the decades, provided Spain with diplomatic strength. Her role in fostering connections with other monarchies was critical in maintaining Spain's position within the broader European context. As Sofia entered her later years, her focus shifted slightly. While she remained an important part of the royal family's work, her role in the public eye lessened. allowing King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia to assume greater responsibility for the monarchy's daily affairs. However, Sofia remained a much-loved and respected figure who had played an undeniable role in Spain's modernization. Her legacy was cemented not just by her work with her family, but by the way she helped the monarchy adapt to the demands of a rapidly changing world. In her private moments, Sofia often reflected on her long journey, from her early life in exile to her role as queen consort, and now as queen emeritus. She had seen Spain evolve from a nation under a brutal dictatorship to a thriving democracy, and she had played a significant part in that transformation. She had witnessed the monarchy's transition from a symbol of authoritarian power to a constitutional institution that served the people. Her efforts had helped shape a more transparent and modern monarchy, one that was more in tune with the needs and aspirations of Spain's citizens. Sofia was particularly proud of her children and the way they had embraced their roles in the royal family. Felipe, as the king, was leading Spain through a new era of challenges, but he had inherited the values of service, duty, and humility that Sofia had instilled in him. Her pride in her son's leadership was evident, and she knew that the future of the Spanish monarchy was in capable hands. As the years went on, Sofia's legacy remained a cornerstone of the Spanish monarchy. She had contributed to its modernization, helped guide it through difficult times, and ensured that it remained a symbol of unity and strength for the people of Spain. Her role as a mother, wife, and queen consort was marked by grace, dignity, and an unwavering commitment to service. She had lived through a period of immense change, and her influence had been instrumental in ensuring that the monarchy would continue to thrive in a modern, democratic Spain. Even as she stepped back from her official duties, Sofia's legacy continued to inspire future generations. She had played a pivotal role in shaping the Spanish monarchy, and her influence would be felt for many years to come. The monarchy that Sofia had helped build, with its roots in both tradition and modernity, would continue to serve as a guiding light for Spain in the years ahead. In the end, Sofia's life was one of service, commitment, and love for her family and country. Her contributions to the Spanish monarchy were immeasurable, and her legacy as one of Europe's most beloved consorts would live on not only in the history books but in the hearts of the Spanish people. As Sofia entered the later stages of her life, her role in the Spanish royal family had evolved into that of a cherished matriarch, the Queen Emeritus, whose influence continued to resonate within the monarchy and across Spain. Her actions throughout her life had helped shape the modern Spanish monarchy, and her legacy remained as a guiding force for her family and the country she had devoted her life to. The monarchy, now under the reign of King Felipe VI, had entered a new chapter. But Sofia's presence, both physically and symbolically, continued to play an important role in its ongoing transformation. The transition to Felipe VI's reign was a defining moment in Spanish history. When Juan Carlos abdicated in 2014, the Spanish monarchy faced a renewed challenge: how to maintain its relevance and ensure its continued popularity in a rapidly changing, democratic Spain. Felipe's ascension to the throne was, in many ways, a direct result of the groundwork laid by Sofia and Juan Carlos, whose combined efforts had not only helped Spain transition to democracy but had also laid the foundation for a new, modern monarchy that aligned with the values of Spain's citizens. Sofia's role in this transformation had been pivotal. As queen consort, she had not only supported Juan Carlos through difficult times but had also worked tirelessly to ensure that the monarchy remained connected to the people. The challenges of the 21st century required a monarchy that was not only politically neutral but also deeply engaged in the social and cultural fabric of the nation. Sofia had been at the forefront of these changes, using her position to advocate for social causes and modernize the royal family's image. As Queen Emeritus, Sofia continued to be a respected figure in Spanish society. While her official duties had diminished, her influence remained strong. She attended family gatherings, public events, and royal occasions with grace, representing a link to the past while embracing the monarchy's new direction. Her presence at public engagements sent a powerful message to the people of Spain. The monarchy was not just about tradition but also about service, continuity, and the shared values of the Spanish people. Sofia's dedication to charitable causes remained a cornerstone of her post-reign life. Throughout her time as queen consort, Sofia had worked with numerous charitable organizations, focusing on issues such as children's health, education, and social equality. She continued this work after stepping down from her official role, establishing herself as a passionate advocate for social change. Her work with these organizations helped to modernize the image of the royal family and positioned her as a queen who cared deeply about the welfare of her people. Even as the monarchy transitioned to a new generation, Sofia's legacy was ever present. Her son, King Felipe VI, had risen to the throne at a time when Spain faced new challenges. The monarchy, once associated with Franco's regime, had to rebuild its image, and Felipe had to work hard to distance the royal family from past scandals. Sofia, despite the controversies surrounding her husband's reign, had helped to preserve the dignity of the monarchy, ensuring that it remained a symbol of unity and stability for the Spanish people. Sofia's relationship with Felipe VI was one of mutual respect and affection. As king, Felipe faced the pressures of leadership, and Sofia, with her experience and wisdom, continued to be a source of guidance for him. Although Felipe was now the monarch, Sofia's role as a mother, advisor, and steady presence remained invaluable. She offered counsel when necessary but allowed Felipe to carve his own path as king. Her faith in his ability to lead was unwavering, and she had always known that he had the strength and vision needed to continue the monarchy's work in the 21st century. Felipe's reign marked a new era for Spain, one that focused on transparency, modernization, and public engagement. As king, Felipe had worked to restore the monarchy's reputation and bring it closer to the people. And Sofia's enduring influence was a quiet but powerful force in supporting his efforts. Her example of grace under pressure, her commitment to duty, and her ability to adapt to the changing world of European monarchies had set the tone for Felipe's approach to kingship. Sofia's legacy extended beyond her immediate family and the Spanish monarchy. As one of the longest-serving queens consort in European history, she had demonstrated what it meant to be both a leader and a partner. She had helped modernize the monarchy, guided her family through difficult times, and supported Spain's transition to democracy. In a world where the role of royalty was constantly being redefined, Sofia's legacy as a queen who embraced both tradition and progress had left an indelible mark on the Spanish monarchy. While she no longer had the same public visibility she once did, Sofia's impact on the Spanish monarchy remained profound. She had paved the way for a new generation of royals who understood the importance of serving the people, and her legacy would continue to guide them as they carried the torch forward. Sofia's commitment to public service and her belief in the monarchy's potential to adapt and evolve meant that Spain's royal family would continue to play an important role in the nation's future. In her later years, Sofia often reflected on her remarkable journey. From her early life in exile to her role as the Queen Consort of Spain, she had experienced tremendous personal and political challenges. She had watched Spain transform from a dictatorship into a modern democracy, and she had been a key figure in that transformation. Her greatest satisfaction came from knowing that the monarchy, despite all its struggles, had managed to evolve and remain relevant. She had played a crucial part in this process, and she was proud of the legacy she had helped create. Her legacy was not just in the political changes she had helped bring about, but in the way she had touched the lives of those around her. Sofia's kindness, her commitment to service, and her belief in the power of family and duty had made her one of the most respected and beloved queens in European history. Her children, her grandchildren, and the Spanish people had all been touched by her example, and her legacy would continue to inspire future generations. As Sofia looked to the future, she knew that the monarchy's path would not always be easy. There would be challenges ahead both for Spain and for the royal family, but she was confident that the monarchy would continue to serve its people as it always had. The foundation had been laid, and the future of the Spanish monarchy, in the hands of Felipe VI and his descendants, was bright. Sofia's life had been one of service, dedication, and love for her family and her country. Her legacy would live on in the Spanish monarchy and in the hearts of the people she had served so faithfully. As Sofia continued to age gracefully, her reflections on the monarchy's future became more frequent and profound. Having lived through decades of political and social transformation, she had witnessed Spain's evolution from a monarchy tied to the legacy of Franco to a modern constitutional monarchy that now served as a beacon of democratic values across Europe. For Sofia, the monarchy was no longer just a symbolic institution but a living, breathing part of Spain's national identity, one that had to evolve constantly to stay relevant. Her thoughts often turned to the role of the monarchy in the broader context of European royalty. Across the continent, monarchies were facing similar challenges: maintaining public support, modernizing their institutions, and staying connected to the people in an increasingly secular and democratic world. While some monarchies were struggling with public opinion and relevance, Spain's royal family had managed to maintain its position of influence, largely due to the groundwork laid by both Juan Carlos and Sofia herself. Yet, she knew that the future of the Spanish monarchy would depend not only on her son Felipe VI's ability to lead, but also on how the monarchy continued to engage with the public in the 21st century. Sofia had always been a firm believer in the necessity of a monarchy that was connected to the people. In her mind, the role of the royal family was not just ceremonial. It was about service, about using their position to elevate the issues that mattered to ordinary Spaniards. During her reign as queen consort, she had worked tirelessly to modernize the monarchy's image, focusing on charitable causes and public welfare. Now, she hoped that Felipe VI and his family would continue that legacy, strengthening the monarchy's connection to the people. Her reflections often centered on the monarchy's adaptability. In a rapidly changing world, Sofia believed that a monarchy could not remain static. It had to adjust to the evolving expectations of the people while staying true to its core values of duty and service. Sofia had always been a forward thinker, and she trusted that Felipe VI, with his calm and measured leadership style, would understand this delicate balance. She often remarked how her son's reign had already brought important changes to the monarchy. From his efforts to increase transparency to his commitment to making the royal family more accessible to the people, Sofia's admiration for Felipe's leadership was immense. She had always known that he possessed the qualities needed to lead Spain into the future: intelligence, humility, and a deep understanding of his people. Yet, she also recognized the challenges that lay ahead. The royal family would have to continue proving its relevance in a world where monarchies were no longer seen as indispensable. But Sofia was confident in Felipe's ability to meet these challenges, and her unwavering faith in him provided a sense of stability for both the monarchy and the nation. As for her own legacy, Sofia often reflected on the profound impact she had made, not just as a queen consort but as a mother and a symbol of modernity within the royal family. She had helped guide her family through some of Spain's most turbulent times, from Franco's dictatorship to the transition to democracy, and through it all, she had maintained the monarchy's dignity and relevance. Sofia knew that her influence, while no longer in the spotlight, would continue to be felt for generations. In her private moments, Sofia took great pride in the way her children had embraced their roles within the royal family. Felipe, of course, was the most prominent figure, but she had also watched with pride as her daughters, Infanta Elena and Infanta Cristina, carved out their own paths in public life. Although they would never ascend to the throne, Sofia had made sure that they too understood the importance of their royal duties. Both daughters had followed her example by dedicating themselves to charitable causes, and Sofia was pleased to see them continue her legacy of service to Spain. Sofia's relationship with her grandchildren was also one of deep importance. As they grew older, Sofia made it a priority to spend time with them, passing on the values that had shaped her own life and the monarchy. She spoke to them often about the importance of responsibility and duty, and how the monarchy was not just about titles and wealth, but about service to the people. In this way, she was ensuring that the future of the Spanish monarchy would be grounded in the values of love for the people, the country, and its traditions. Though Sofia was not a public figure in the same way she had been during her reign as queen consort, she knew that her legacy would continue to shape the Spanish royal family. Her quiet influence, both in the royal family and in Spanish society, was undeniable. She had shown the world what it meant to be both a queen and a mother, a consort and a leader. Her legacy was not simply in the changes she had brought to the monarchy, but in the way she had touched the lives of those around her. Her wisdom, grace, and compassion had left an indelible mark on the Spanish monarchy and on Spain itself. As Sofia looked to the future, she was filled with a sense of peace. She had lived through a transformative period in Spain's history, and she had played an instrumental role in the monarchy's modernization. She had seen Spain move from a dictatorship to a thriving democracy, and she had been there to support her husband, her children, and her country every step of the way. Her legacy, she knew, would continue to be felt for generations, not just through the monarchy but through the people of Spain who had come to view her as a symbol of strength, dignity, and commitment to service. Sofia's life was one of duty, love, and sacrifice. From her early years in exile to her role as Queen Consort and then Queen Emeritus, she had remained steadfast in her commitment to her family and to the Spanish people. Her influence on Spain's monarchy was immeasurable, and her impact would endure for many years to come. As the Spanish monarchy moved into the future, Sofia's legacy would continue to be a touchstone for the royal family, guiding them as they faced new challenges and embraced new opportunities in the ever-changing landscape of the modern world. As the years continued to unfold, Sofia of Greece and Denmark settled into a quieter, but no less meaningful chapter of her life. While the formal duties of the Spanish royal family had been passed to her son, King Felipe VI, and his wife, Queen Letizia, Sofia remained a towering figure whose legacy was deeply intertwined with the monarchy's evolution. She had helped steer the Spanish monarchy through some of its most turbulent and transformative periods, and as she now looked to the future, she knew her impact would be felt for generations. Sofia's life had been one of unparalleled service and dedication, not just to her family but to the nation of Spain. From the moment she married Juan Carlos, she had been at the heart of Spain's transition from dictatorship to democracy. She had stood by her husband's side as he navigated the challenges of Franco's regime, and together, they had helped lead the country into a new era of political freedom and social change. But Sofia's role had not been limited to political moments. She had, throughout her life, embodied the ideals of compassion, responsibility, and public service. Her legacy as Queen Consort and later as Queen Emeritus was built on these values. While Sofia had stepped away from the official duties of the monarchy after Juan Carlos's abdication, her influence remained vital. She had modernized the monarchy, helping to make it more accessible and connected to the people of Spain. Through her charitable work, her support for social causes, and her diplomatic efforts, Sofia had shown that royalty was not just about privilege and ceremony. It was about serving the people, about using one's position to make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. As the monarchy moved into the 21st century under the leadership of Felipe VI, Sofia's role as a mother and advisor continued to be a guiding force. Her son's reign was not without its challenges, particularly in the wake of scandals involving his father, but Sofia had always trusted in Felipe's ability to lead with wisdom and humility. As Felipe navigated the complex political landscape of modern Spain, Sofia remained a steady presence, offering her support and guidance whenever necessary. She was the pillar of the royal family, whose unwavering belief in duty and responsibility continued to inspire not only her son but also the entire Spanish monarchy. But as much as her legacy was tied to the monarchy, Sofia's influence also extended beyond the royal family. Her work with numerous charitable organizations, her advocacy for children's rights, education, and social justice, and her deep commitment to the Spanish people made her one of the most respected figures in Spain. Through her various causes, Sofia touched the lives of countless individuals, helping to build a modern monarchy that understood its role in serving the people. She had become a beacon of hope for many, a symbol of grace and dignity in a world that was constantly changing. Sofia's relationship with the Spanish people was rooted in respect and affection. Her quiet elegance and dignified presence in the public eye made her one of the most beloved figures in Spanish history. Despite the controversies that surrounded her husband, Sofia's reputation remained unscathed. Her ability to maintain her dignity and focus on her charitable work ensured that she was seen as an icon of stability during difficult times. In a rapidly changing world, Sofia remained a constant, a source of calm and wisdom in a monarchy that had to continuously adapt to the evolving needs of the country. Her legacy also extended to her family. As a mother, she had raised a son who would become King Felipe VI, a leader who would carry the monarchy into a new era. Felipe's reign was characterized by efforts to modernize the royal family and ensure its relevance in a democratic Spain. As a grandmother, Sofia continued to impart the values of service and duty to her grandchildren. She knew that the future of the Spanish monarchy lay in their hands, and she took comfort in knowing that the legacy of love, respect, and responsibility would continue through them. Sofia often took moments to reflect on the extraordinary journey she had traveled, from a princess born into a world of royal expectations to a queen consort who helped guide Spain through one of its most transformative periods. She had lived through war, exile, political upheaval, and monarchy. She had witnessed the country's painful transition from dictatorship to democracy, and she had played a central role in ensuring the monarchy's place in this new era. Her role in the history of Spain's monarchy could never be overstated. Looking back, Sofia found solace in knowing that the monarchy she had helped to modernize would continue to thrive under Felipe VI's leadership. She had seen the monarchy evolve from a symbol of absolute power to one that reflected the democratic ideals of the people. Spain, in her eyes, had emerged as a strong, unified country, and the monarchy had adapted to serve the needs of its people. This was a legacy Sofia could be proud of, one that would last long beyond her time. As the years passed, Sofia continued to find fulfillment in the knowledge that her contributions to the Spanish monarchy were woven into the very fabric of the country. The monarchy, with its deep historical roots, was no longer simply a symbol of the past. It had become a living institution that would continue to serve Spain for generations to come. Sofia's role in this transformation was one of quiet but steadfast dedication, and her legacy would forever be intertwined with the monarchy's modern identity. In her final years, Sofia found peace. She had given everything to the service of her country, her family, and the Spanish people. Her life had been one of duty, love, and sacrifice, and she had carried out these responsibilities with grace and humility. She had been a mother, a queen consort, a diplomat, and a symbol of hope. And as the Spanish monarchy continued its journey into the future, Sofia knew that the monarchy was in good hands. Her legacy as Queen Emeritus, as the guiding mother of Felipe VI, and as the woman who had helped shape the modern Spanish monarchy would live on in the hearts of the Spanish people and within the royal family. In the end, Sofia's greatest contribution was her unwavering commitment to the ideals of service, duty, and family, which would continue to inspire future generations of Spaniards. The Spanish monarchy, with its rich legacy, would remain a cornerstone of the country's identity, and Sofia's legacy would continue to guide it through the challenges of the future.